Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show and the way to go. But today we got a video, and it's been a great wide controversy, very controversial, of black women rejecting black men's leadership. And we're just gonna listen to them speak on it. We're gonna see why they reject the black man's leadership. We're just gonna get a little taste. Hit the like button on your way to the door. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you for coming, and let's roll.
I don't think that's in black women's best interest. Y'all ain't seen tyrannical until y'all let black men be in charge, of y'all.
So, oh my
I
fucking God.
promise you, that leniency shit gonna go away.
What?
You ain't never heard a white man say, "Sod, I'ma shut you up." You wouldn't even be on this panel. You hear black men say that shit all the time. We're trying to negotiate. We're trying to negotiate with the powers up in here because y'all don't have it and y'all will not have it.
The problem with the black community, Shad, I hope you get to see it right here in face. They will rather be with the white man negotiating them with power than coming into power with their own.
Welcome back to the channel. Shout out to This Might Be Risky podcast, DJ Ham, everybody over there. And they had this conversation about black male leadership, the black family. Is the community a matriarchy or a patriarchy? And then, of course, all of a sudden, the BWs on the panel started saying a lot of disrespectful things about in regards to being a leader, and it pissed me off. We're gonna get into I want you to brace yourself. There are parts of this conversation that were very triggering. If you're a black man, it's gonna be very triggering for you. This is going to be frustrating, but it'll actually be entertaining because a lot of these discussions often are. Hit the subscribe button, also hit the notification bell. Let's not waste 1 minute.
So, right, is this a us problem that we can't determine absolutely patriarchy if men are indeed under? How should we solve for this? Does it make sense to try to get in quote unquote order?
Yes, what's going to happen is we're going to need some trust. Either we don't have to let women lead in totality, or they are going to have to surrender their perceived role in the community. So if the white people are still perceiving the black woman as the head of the community, then that lies the problem. They need to know that it's not that. So the child support, the government assistance, the welfare, go down there and cut all that shit off. Tell them black men back, we taking over the houses again, and you will quickly see what the fucking problem was. Tell them black men are back. Tell them, listen, we cutting all this shit off. We don't need y'all help no more. We back. And I guarantee you, it's gonna be some motherfucking meetings held behind some closed doors. That's a fact.
So, like, we about to tell them you back. Are you really back? Or are we just telling them that?
We never left y'all.
What are you saying? You calling the community a matriarch? That would mean there's no men.
Just because the community is a matriarchy right now, that doesn't mean that there's no men. That could mean that the women aren't picking men that are decent men, so women are ending up alone raising baby. That doesn't mean that men aren't there or good men aren't there. Let's get back into the clip.
Now, that was a shot at black men he just did. Oh, maybe they didn't pick a guy who is decent. Why is it always got to be what she didn't pick? How come she can't be the problem? How come it can't be she was the root to why the relationship ended and why there's co-parenting? Why it always got to be she didn't pick the man? It's bottom line, these breakups, these separate families, these single mothers, everybody has a part in the destruction of the different family. So I don't know why it's just on the man. Or she didn't pick a good man. Maybe she should have got a better man. When clearly women are obviously can be a part of the problem too. They can actually leave the man. The man could want to be with them and she could divorce him and want to go her separate ways. So I don't get why we always blame the man.
You called it a matriarchy. How's that possible if the men are there?
Hey, we finna send your ass.
It's a patriarchy with women there. What are you talking about, Dr. G?
We finna send your ass to the home state.
That's not what he said, Arnold. That's not what he said.
He said the black community is a matriarchy.
Yes. How is that possible if the men are there?
No,
I believe that the black women control the narrative in the black community.
What narrative? What are you saying? Like, we're talking
Right?
about a societal perception of the black community.
What is okay? What is okay? What we do, what it looks like. Black women control that in the black community.
How?
Because they are the griot. They are the ones doing the teaching, right? They are in homes with the children by themselves. By
Why?
and large.
Why?
Because the patriarch is not there.
Arnold?
Now, you notice how she's saying, why? Why? Because in her mind, she believes the narrative that's been real loose in the black community, that there are just no black fathers, and black men are just running away from families when nothing could be further from the truth. There are plenty of willing fathers. Black women just don't find some of those men attractive. They think some of those men are boring. Some of them men don't have enough swag for them. They go for the guys who make their panties wet and then end up alone with a baby and then say there aren't any fathers. That's dishonest. Let's get back into the clip.
That's exactly, my brother. That's the problem.
That's the
He's
problem.
saying-
But what is
he's
it? No, you
saying-
said it's not a. You said it's not a matriarchy.
Right. He's saying,
But you are hold up, Dr. G. But you identified the problem.
no, you did.
You said
2K
that's the problem.
said, 2K said to go tell them that the men are back.
I don't think I gave us two options. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
The two
I'm
options.
I'm dealing with one of the options you gave, 2K. You said go tell them the men are back. My question is, are you back?
We never
they're
know.
not.
It will perceive the perception.
Before the conversation has even been brought, before the conversation has even gotten going, she's already trying to bring black men into question. She's like, but, and I get it. They did start it off with them calling for black women to do something. But I know what he was trying to do. And he's actually right. Let's just look at this as a thought experiment real quick. If overnight, all the black women who had their guy on child support, for whatever reason, let's say even if they were crazy for taking him off, they still took him off anyway, just the collective agreement of taking them off child support. If this were to happen, the infrastructure would notice and they would actually make adjustments to society based on us making that change. Who knows how they would view our family structure at that point. Regardless of even if they started changing rules to try to further hold black people back because of it, it would be more signifying of us being together than apart. Let's get back into the clip.
Go down there and tell these folks whatever they perceive is over. Cut the food stamps off. Cut the child support off. Cut the government assistance off and tell them that black men and black women are back as a unit.
I got a question too, babe. How come white women receive more benefits than us, but it hasn't disenfranchised their community in the same way it did ours?
Yes, it has.
What are you
white
talking
people,
about?
It absolutely has. We are overrepresented when it comes to getting those benefits. Right? If you line up 10 black people and 10 white people, there are gonna be more black people on food stamps.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't think that's true.
It's not true.
On my mama, this is my area of expertise.
It's true, and white people make up the majority of the population. I mean, I guess that'll probably soon be Hispanics and Latinos, but for now, they're still the majority of the people here. There are more white people here than anybody. So the fact that we're in the lead still just speaks more to his point. Let's get back into the clip.
Pull it up. But also, yeah, I don't think that's in black women's best interest. Y'all ain't seen tyrannical until y'all let black men be in charge of y'all.
So, oh my!
I promise you, that leniency shit gonna go away.
What?
You ain't never heard a white man say, "Sard, I'm gonna shut you up." You wouldn't even be on this panel. You hear black men say that shit all the time. I promise you, this current state of black men, you do not want them ruling over you. They will take the white man gave your ass clean away. You ain't getting away with nothing, Jack.
Hell, I ain't trying to. Have
I
a
could kiss.
You don't want this state of black men leading you. One must wonder, what have black men done that's so extreme that will warrant such a statement? I think statements like this prove that a lot of our women just have an underlying resentment of the men in their community. It could go back to Jim Crow stuff. You can chalk it up to whatever you want to chalk it up to, but it's apparent, it's glaring, and I don't get how you could say you don't notice it. Let's get back into the clip.
I promise you,
Well-
and it's the influential ones. They're going to be the leaders of the pack, and they want us in the back of the closet with a broom.
Well, Sherelle, that wouldn't be true when you look who wrote the SAVE Act as an example. White men are taking it above and beyond and saying, not only do we want you to be quiet, we want to make sure you can't vote for who your next president is. So that wouldn't be true.
I think that's white men trying to control the whole country. I'm saying like
Exactly.
black men are black men. The only
Yeah.
group of people that black men seem to
That's
want
a-
to be tyrannical to it is black women.
I'm saying that's a convenient argument now. However, when we've been conversing about the SAVE Act, we're saying that it's particularly targeting the women, and the women are unevenly hurt by the SAVE Act specifically, or affected, whatever the proper word is. So that's what been being said. So we can't change it now, essentially.
Oh yeah,
and
I,
they've said,
I haven't been there for the SAVE Act.
I got you. They've also said emphatically, you heard the white Christian Ashley said, repeal the 19th. Those are white men saying that.
Can I respond back?
Not
to
the
Sherelle?
ones in power, the ones that hold power.
Sherelle, name that time in history where black men predominantly beat black women ass.
I wouldn't know.
You can't find it. You know why? Because we never have. Black women getting beat on by black men is so rare that they made movies about it. If the shit was happening outside of each of our doors in our neighborhoods in our neighbor's house, we wouldn't even watch
It's
the movie.
happening. in my house. It's happening next door to me right now.
It has.
It's, y'all got white women memories in y'all fucking
No, I
head.
literally.
So how can you say that an experience? Like,
We just
I
got a
don't.
memory. This shit is happening now. The girl next door is getting beat. I consistently hear her screaming and getting slammed into walls in
What?
the house I live in now.
One girl out of how many you know? One woman out of how many you
Oh, no,
know?
the majority of black women I know have been abused by men.
Where's this time
Black
in
man.
history where black men beat
We in it.
women for control? Y'all have always
You don't. But I'm
I
telling
don't-
you don't have the power. You don't have the power to. But when we listen to your ideology and the things that you say, it does not. It doesn't. It's going to go from being at a rock, and then going to a hard place. That is what. That's the environment that we as black women are in. The white man is a rock. You are a hard place. We are going to get slammed either way we go.
All I hear is y'all would rather be with the fucking white man doing what the fuck y'all doing.
I don't.
White
We're not being with the white man. We taking
Yeah,
care
we're
of
not.
ourselves.
I can't believe that in the face of 400 years of slavery, then you got Jim Crow, redlining, everything that still goes on, like employment discrimination, so on and so forth, whatever. She still feels safer with white men, and they say black men turned on the community. But listen to how our women speak.
We're trying to negotiate. We're trying to negotiate with the powers up in here because y'all don't have it and y'all will not have it.
Hell,
God gonna have to come back and give it to y'all.
All right, let's pass the
y'all.
mic. Pass the mic.
These are the enemies. This is the problem with the black community, Shad. I hope you get to see it right here in your fucking face. They will rather be with the white man negotiating them with power than coming into power with their own.
Let him cook.
This is the problem, Shad.
I want to get Sean. I want to get Saul. So I was trying to also get in on that back and forth as well. Saul, you trying to say something?
You can let Shah go.
I don't know if Sean wanted to go. I just knew you was going to say
I don't really have no ear to this particular point.
I know you don't.
something.
Yeah, I don't think the DV shit was valid. But I digress with that.
Which part? Sorry.
As far as making the abuse seem as though it's not happening.
Well, what it was, do you think that it was happening in mass?
Back then or now? Because now I can only say yes. Because I don't know.
More.
So hold on, Sherelle. You're saying that most of the men who are with women are beating their wives or beating their girlfriends?
I'm not saying most men.
That's what I
but
asked in
2K
mass. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, no, so not in mass, but 2K was making it seem like it was just finding the pot of gold after the rainbow. Like it was just a rare case, and it's not.
So I can't add this. I mean, of course, this is self-reported. It's difficult to get hard numbers on things like abuse, but I think the range is around 25-30% of Black women have reported some type of like intimate partner violence. So I mean, that's not the majority, but it's also not 5%. But again, this survey data So it's around like 25, 30%.
And then you have to add to the non-reporting.
What's the numbers on women to women?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I guarantee you it is 3 times higher than what you just said.
I think women to women violence is I think
It's a microcosm.
It's significantly higher. Let's not play around. We know that the same gender female relationship can get a little crazy.
Bitch, this is my wife here, so you need to
I'm not actually.
I will cut you!
Get back into the clip.
Talk about the volume. The majority of black women have been abused by the hands of black men. Mr. What do you say? Domestic discipline. That's what we want. Domestic discipline.
quick, you would
that's gonna
have-
be your first order.
Yeah, the thing about violence against people is the people that you're coupled with, right? So that statement would be said in the inverse as well, right? Because those are the people that are coupled together. So it's not an astounding thing when you say violence to women happen, black women to black men, and black men to black women. It would be, and that's for all races because we're in close proximity to each other. Like as an example, women have the most violence against the elderly and children. Why? The jobs they do, proximity. So it makes sense when you just do the mathematical, Now, when we're saying this, right? Saying it doesn't happen or it happened, we understand that. So where do we go from here, right? So Sherelle's saying if black men are in power, black women are worst off. That sounds like a diabolical thesis.
And let's think about what's happened in reality. So
And this is diabolical. But we understand that women ultimately they want to rule. Because when they say when they say that most men violent are radical leaders, let's be clear. Most men are, majority of men are beta simps. They're the majority in black, white, you name it, right? So meaning, so let me define that. Beta meaning most guys come in acquiescing to their woman, meaning they're living for her happiness. They want her to lead. They're happy wife and happy life in it because they're happy to be a part of her presence. So when women make the claim of violence, or most men or black women have been beat up, whatever, that's a fallacy. Because most men are ruled by their women. Because they're beta, their mentality is beta. They pedestalize women and they overly pedestalize the woman that they're with. So in essence, that is a fallacy. Now, when we talk about domestic violence is a different type of violence than, let's say, 2 guys or 2 people beefing in the streets, trying to shoot each other for territory, or because we got to fight or whatever, we trying to beat each other up because we don't like each other. That's not what domestic violence entails. Domestic violence usually is an act of 2 people having an argument or disagreement, and within this argument, the emotions are flying, so therefore impulsive acts happen, right? So, it meaning that the intention, neither party intended to really, let's say, put hands on the other party, but it ended that way because the argument and emotions took over and a reaction happened. And most reactions in those cases are they're like unpredictable, right? They're impulsive. So domestic violence, that's why they treat domestic violence different than gang violence, than robbery violence, stuff like that. Because domestic violence is usually, it's just the intent isn't there, but it happens. That's the difference. Nobody intends to hurt their wife or hit the other, just that people get mad. And then we see now that women are putting hands on men. So, violence is domestic violence is part of life, right? It's just people do it on a minority level because they just can't seem to get along. Now, when they mention the part about lesbian violence, which we know is quadruple times more higher than heterosexual amongst women, that you know that women are the problem, right? They're the aggressors, they're the antagonizers, they're very antagonistic. So majority, probably 99.9% of all these situations are antagonized by the woman.
So far, when black women have been given power with white men, which you can arguably say through the child support system and things like that, black women have been given some amount of power through the system to be able to affect the men in their community. Will we say that black women have used this system to help black men, or have they used it to hurt black men? I think most of us would choose the latter, because black women have certainly weaponized the court system set up by people who don't mean them any good to hurt the men in their community. So we already have proof that black women will certainly weaponize power next to white people to hurt black men.
Damn.
She believe what they say.
So when the other women hear it before I get Arnold in, that's when I hear it, it feels, and I'm saying feels, diabolical. Because it's more of a, it invokes like an emotion, even though my face don't be changing that much.
On the inside.
Yeah. When you guys hear it, I'm just asking, what's the emotion or feeling that it invokes? And then I'll get Arnold.
It evokes a feeling of sadness, of pain. Why would I be in a worse condition when I'm with my men, the men I birthed, the men who birthed me? Why would that put me in a worse position? You know? And I'm not even arguing whether it's true or not. I'm just saying the feeling that I have when I hear that is one of sadness, for sure.
Now, what's your argument when you hear it now?
My argument?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Sherelle says, Dr. G, if our men get in power, we are fucked. You say what to that?
I don't believe that. I think part of the reason why we see some of the things that we see from our men is because they are not in power, because they feel like they don't have a chance, like they're at the bottom, like there's no chance, there's no opportunity. They feel as if their women are outdoing them. They don't see it.
Stop it right there. What are you talking about? I thought the sister was with us. Here we go. Y'all are projecting what you think about yourselves on the black men. I promise you, black men are not getting together and we're like, oh my goodness, black women are moving so fast at this crazy pace we can't keep up with. Oh my God, a liberal arts degree. How could I ever compete with that? Oh, what's that? A nursing degree. That's so adorable. I'm gonna have such a hard time competing with it. You see how, like, women, y'all want your independence to be significant so bad that you're sitting around thinking that men are stewing about your independence in ways that we're actually not caring about it.
They don't feel like men, and so that's why some of these things perhaps are occurring, because they don't feel as if. But Hemp, I want something else too.
Just be succinct with it, because I want to get Krishana and Saud in also with the same question. Go ahead.
I don't know. It might take us somewhere, but it's something that I'm commenting to something that was said, but it might take us off. So I don't know.
You wrote it down?
I'll remember. I'll remember.
You won't. You remember? You forgot my last question.
I'll remember.
Last time I asked you a question, you remember?
Listen, why are you talking about old stuff? I remember.
It was 16 minutes ago. It wasn't to read these. 2K with 10 ounces. Okay. 2K with the 10 ounces. What Sherelle said made me sad. Like when I heard black women say they would rather be in the woods with a bear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My degrees are not better than.
The bear thing didn't make me bad. That was just That was just stupid. That was just like women being dumb. Or they weren't, it doesn't mean that they were dumb women. That was just women saying something that was dumb. Really, they didn't think it through. Or a lot of times women use these type of hypotheticals just to make quick jabs at men. They know that if they were in the woods and they saw a bear and a man, they're running to the man. They're not running to the bear. Let's get back into the clip.
My degrees are better than them. Just for the record.
Over to you.
Can I just make it one point as a response to Sherrod? I think it's important to say this. I mean, I think you can argue black men are the most benevolent men in the world when you look at what we've been subjected to in this country, what we've been able to forgive and become productive citizens in a country that continually tries to keep us in peril and fighting for our humanity, right? So that's one part of it. But then the second part of it is, if I'm thinking about Sherrod specifically in the environment that she's in often, even if I think it's erroneous, it can lend her to have these types of responses to some of the things that happen here, some of the statements that are made. So I think, again, if I say I understand, it's almost like I'm agreeing with it. I understand her disposition based on her interaction with men here. But in general, history shows you when men were perceived to be in control of their community and in control of the community, we managed our community with humanity, with benevolence. And we made sure everybody was good. I just think history shows that and proves that. So I think that's not something that should be debated if you're a student of history. But again, in 2026, with this current, whatever we're doing, gender war we having going on, I do think there are a lot of statements that are often made by men that are problematic. And we need to find a better way to communicate our contention with each other. And the generalizations, the hyperbolic nature of some of our statements do kind of create these crazy talking points that we get to sometimes.
Okay, can I rebuttal to Shad? And Shad,
Kind of, not really, right? Kind of, because I wanted to get Saud and Krishana in. I stopped paying attention for a second, and Shad was talking, so then I couldn't, because the dog keep fucking throwing the pillows around and shit. Sherelle, if you can promise it'll be a concise rebuttal, then I'll say yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, it's gonna be concise.
All right, go ahead.
No, I understand that, Shad. What I would say is I recognize and respect the black men that are for us, but I see how y'all get attacked. Y'all are simps. Y'all are less respected for respecting and valuing women. They're gonna get rid of y'all too. The ones that are willing to protect women, they're gonna get rid of y'all first.
No. Men don't associate men who are willing to protect women with simps. This is why you women who have harsh opinions about conversations men are having, you guys should ask men before you get too definitive in what you're saying.
No problem killing other black men. Sometimes like that's they fears and respects the black men that are for us, but I see how y'all get attacked. Y'all are simps.
Yeah, like men have already.
So basically what in telling this conversation, women want to run the show. And they're literally waiting for black men to bow down. See, black women like white men because they think white men's going to listen to them more and let them lead the show. And this is what black men, women are saying, right? They're saying they don't want a leader. And a lot of black women feel like they don't trust black men to fall in line with their ambitions as being leaders themselves. Because black men, we think we're bigger than the program, right? We want to control you. We want to not let them wear them tight dresses. Black men are more assertive than, we'll say, a white man or Asian man or Indian man. We're a little bit more assertive, and black women don't like that. They want the same thing the white woman got, right? The white woman run her house, and the black woman want to run her house the same way. They want to run the show. Bottom line. That's why they're rejecting black man's leadership, because they don't want black man's leaderships. They want the black man to bow to them. And there are some black men bowing to him, but not enough. A lot of black men are still trying to be, black excellence and be leaders. And that turns a lot of women off, particularly black women, right? White women, they deal with black men because they know they can manipulate them. But black women seem to not be able to focus or get their black men like the white man, right? So this is the problem. And, bottom line, if you get with a woman, because women, they're looking for slaves. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for personal slaves. Black women don't want no black man leadership. She's looking for her black man who she can lead and tell what to do and push over. But because we're so unpredictable in that department, there are some black men that are pushovers, right? Typically, these are betas, but they really don't. But the women are really attracted to them, right? Most of them guys are unattractive. So this is why they're like, so they're attracted to Pookies and the Ray Rays. But the Pookies and the Ray Rays don't listen and don't follow their lead. So this is why they never last.
Decided that simps do things that men aren't proud of. Simps don't do things that men find honorable. Simps don't do any protecting or providing or any of that. What simps do is basically say or do anything that'll make the woman feel good, rather if he believes it or finds it to be true or not, which is dishonorable on every level. A simp compromises his integrity and his to make a woman feel good, have a better life, which no fair and healthy arrangement should be that way. Let's get back into the clip.
Y'all are less respected for respecting and valuing women. They're going to get rid of y'all too. Ones that are willing to protect women, they're going to get rid of y'all first. And black men have no problem killing other black men. Sometimes like that's their favorite thing to do.
You turn it up.
So let me get this straight. So you just picture if black men get in leadership, since we're just so dedicated to being fuckboys, we're gonna be like, you know what? All the men who are doing right and want to protect women and treat women and feel it and make them feel good, let's go round them up and let's delete them.
So when Sherelle made the statement of black man killing black men, she just said that to try to win or make a point. But every race dies at the hand of their own race. White men die at the hand of white men more than any other race. Latino, Asian. Every man, most every man in every race die or women die at the hand of their own race. It's not a whole bunch of white people killing black people, vice versa. It's always in-house. Most death comes in-house. That's universal across the board.
Why would any group of any ethnicity do that, let alone black? Like, why would we do that? Just how far your imagination has gone with this just proves that you would have hated black men from any angle. It just doesn't matter. However we want it, you would have served it up to us either way. Let's get back into the clip. Goddamn.
Power.
No, you did that.
Power corrupts man. Power corrupts man.
All right, let me get the. All right. Well, that
the craziest panel I've ever been on, bro.
Write down. It's kind of crazy. Write that down. And Arnold is after Krishana and Saw. Okay. Did Krishana respond? No, we're getting the mic right. Okay. So when you hear that initial statement, what's your feeling, and what would be your response to it if it was said to you?
So my feeling is just disappointment.
God.
And then my reply to it is just
Mic on whisper.
Here now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, you back.
All right, yeah. So I just said, it was just a disappointment, but I believe in biblical principles. So I do believe that the men are, the headship. But I do understand that in today's society, women have been put in positions where they have to be more of a leader today.
Wait a second. You said that women have been put in that position. You haven't been put anywhere. You women made your own decisions to be independent. Women, you made your own decision to choose the government structure and child support and welfare and free food over your men being in the home. Those things were just options. You didn't have to actually take them. Now, one argument that you could say where men were forced out of the home, you could say with like, the Reagan. You can talk about those type of things when it comes to that influence on the culture. But this angle you just tried in the beginning, I'm not letting you do that. Let's get back into the clip.
Okay. Saw it. What you think? What was the emotion it invokes, and then what would be your reply or response?
I think disheartening because I don't know. I want to feel as though men would have our best interests at heart. But with the climate of how everything is going, I'm not sure. But I would want to believe.
What's the part? What do you perceive the client as? As?
Because I don't feel as though we're in a place where we want to hear what the men are facing and hear the struggles of the women and then come together to try to unpack it to move forward. It's like we are in a contentious place where we cannot, I don't even think take ownership is the right word, but like, it's just that we don't want to take accountability for on the pain that we both may have brought to the other sex and everything.
Wait a second, because there's only, okay, even if I'm willing to agree that both people have done harm to each other, one person has avoided accountability more than the other. One gender has avoided accountability more than the other gender has. And we all know that it's the woman. We even have elders in the Black community admitting this.
What it is now, it's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women's going bad. The women's going bad. It ain't the men's now.
It's have done to us. I feel like with the whole fighting for our freedom and trying to get from under the white man, it ultimately like now we're fighting each other. So I don't think there's trust. I don't think no one has compassion for each other. I think we're in a rat race with each other. I don't know.
Arnold, what you think, man?
I think it's a bunch of bullshit that all y'all set up and say y'all did not say that y'all don't agree with what she said. Y'all said it made y'all sad, right? But y'all think y'all agree.
No, I did. I definitely said I don't believe that.
So
You don't believe what?
I don't believe that black men were true. That's this.
I definitely said that too, Arnold.
Yeah.
All right, thank y'all for going on record by saying that. What I'm saying is that we talking about the men that women are choosing to be with. If you think that man was in power, you would be worse off. That makes no sense, Sherelle.
That's obviously where all this is coming from. She dated all the wrong type of dudes. She entrusted all the wrong type of Black men. And now she's nihil about Black men.
Now, what do you mean entrusted? Can we be sure that she entrusted a man? Any man? What do you mean by entrusted? Or was it that it was opposite? Maybe the Black guys that she has dealt with have not acquiesced the way she wanted to be acquiesced to. Maybe they didn't give her the lead like she wanted. See, this is the conflict between men and women. Women want the same thing the men want when it comes to being the leader, being the one to make the decisions. Women want and are in constant battles with men about power structure, equality. That's what's feminism. Feminism just breaks it down, right? Feminism is just a kind of defines a woman's ideology, and the women are on board with feminism. They're on board with it. You would not meet a woman. There's over 100 million women. 99.9% of them, million women are going to be pro-feminism because feminism breaks down the idea of equality, the art of supremacy. So what do you mean interest? No, And see, once again, we got to always stop assuming that women got rid of a guy because he was a poor leader. Maybe she got rid of him because he was a poor follower. That could be it. See, women, but once again, men, we're still delusional. And this is part of our illusion that we think, oh, well, she must have had a bad experience with a dude who did not lead her well. No, that wasn't it. Because you got to remember, women fall in love with an illusion. Men fall in love with conclusion. So men, they have this idea in their head of the man that how they want their man to be before she even meets them. So when she does meet the man that she attracted to, that she wants to fit in that box, she's not in love with him for him and who he is. She's with him for what she wants him to be, that coincides with her illusion. And if the man does not comply to that illusion, that illusion is like her reality. And that reality is like law, right? So then if he does not comply, then he gets disqualified. And she runs him off or she leaves. Most time they just leave. So we gotta get out of this. When bad. No, women, when they look for somebody, they want to change them. They don't want to take them for them. That's why they don't have no problem. But they're looking for somebody that's going to acquiesce to their demands, their expectations, all the things that they want from men. This is how they rolling.
We see it all the time.
To be with black women, the state of black women are in shambles because of the men they've chosen to be with. I don't think black women select black men at all that need to be leading us. The worst of black men are the ones with the most kids.
So are you talking about the majority of black men? Are you talking about the black men that black women are choosing to be with?
She just said that the worst black men in the black community to date are the men who have the most kids. But by how many kids the man have, he's obviously having success in the community. We're always gonna have a lot of these men in the black community who have all these baby moms, and then when you guys are public and you guys are speaking about these men, then you act like these men are now undesirable men. It just doesn't sound honest. Get back into the clip.
Those men who they're choosing to be with, they're the most dominant men. They're also the most destructive.
I'm saying you're not talking about a gen pop, right? You talking about the women are choosing these men because those the niggas that make they fucking pussy wet.
Exactly.
Right? And you saying that those characteristics lead to niggas that you don't want to, that you don't really feel safe around.
Let him cook.
Okay. Yes.
Right. I'm saying that call it spade, and don't act like you talking about all black men or even most black men.
What I just told y'all is the men who protect women, the men who stand in solidarity with women, are called simps.
That's not real, because a lot of those men aren't standing in solidarity with you. We call Derek Jackson a simp. Would you call him somebody who stands in solidarity with black?
Arnold said it right. You don't want to feel safe. What do you mean you don't want to feel safe for the man? But yet you chase the Pookies, the Ray-Rays, and make your coochie wet, baby. You don't want that nigga who's going to be a good guy, who's an upstanding citizen. It's not going to happen. You want that nigga Little Dirt. You want Lil Wayne, Jay-Z. This is a long-standing argument historically. Women want the bad guys and overlook the good guys. So now you're telling me, well, we don't want to feel safe with you. No, it ain't that you don't feel safe. Sherelle is delusional. She just wants to win. See, Sherelle wants to dominate and crush men every chance she get because she can't get the man she wants. No black man is gonna bow down to her. So she goes on these panels and she says what she says. That's why, nobody's gonna wife her up because nobody wants to be her slave.
Black women, he teaches y'all everything that y'all want to hear, but in his life, everything in his life contradicts the things that he teaches. And I don't know what you guys' evaluation process is for a good man is. It's probably messed up. That's probably why all of our children have fatherless homes, possibly.
Impossible.
That I have had with Shad is that if there's something that's being said, he's protecting the women and acting like what they're saying is not an issue, right? He's not protecting anybody physically. He's protecting you from direct, right, conversations like this, which most of the bullshit that you say does not stand up to.
Sheree, you think I let a nigga beat your
Hold
ass?
on, 2K. Hold on, 2K.
Yeah, I would never be in your presence. I don't trust you.
You think I would let somebody?
Hold on, 2K. Hold on. That Arnold is on to something. They're on to something in terms of their conversation. Him and Sherelle, they got to finish it.
Yeah, I'm saying that the conversation that we have when it gets like this, when a man is asking questions to get to the root of the issue of what the conversation is, and if the shit falls apart, right? Oftentimes a man does have to come in and be like, hey, come on, bro, you pouring it on, right? You reaching, you over pursuing, right? What I'm saying is that if the shit is bullshit and it don't fucking stand up, it should not be part of our conversation. Because what happens is that part what you just said, right? If that part got out and it wasn't clear that the panel didn't agree, that would be something that might move on from here.
All right.
Right? The white man is the hard place and the black man is the rock.
Yeah.
Right? I'm saying you could cook that up and sell it. Right? That could really easy be a mantra by Monday, right? And it's bullshit.
I might get a t-shirt made.
But I'm saying it's 100% bullshit.
You might get a t-shirt made, but it's wrong though. Why don't you care about it being wrong? And I want to say something. This wouldn't piss me off so much if I didn't see black people on a broad scale handling important topics like this, where it doesn't even really matter if we're right sometimes as black people. We just want the crowd to go, ooh, dang, like super hot fire.
It's not.
It is.
Arnold, you're a black man. You don't have a high respect for black women.
Yes, I do.
You don't.
What? So what black woman do I don't have a high respect for?
I'm just letting you know. We don't have to get into it.
Right. I'm saying that I'm not scared to go toes with you, so I don't have respect for black women because I'm not gonna just let you say any bullshit. So I'm not gonna let you say bullshit. The black woman I work with, the black woman that birthed me, that took care of me my whole life, I don't respect them.
Don't make it about me.
No, I'm saying we're talking about you too.
If men like you get in charge of us, we better off in a situation.
If men like me were in charge, everybody would be doing the best thing that they could do, right? Because I'm a better assessor of people than you are.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Look. If sit up in the conversation with me long enough, I done told every person that I done had an argument with exactly who they was, and they got them out of their fucking body. Because I assessed them perfectly.
I just don't care to get people out their bodies.
Because you can't. Because you just talk about bullshit. Because you can't do it like me. I'm saying you saying that I'm a bad guy because I'm good at something.
You're the person that's always on offense. I'm a defensive player. I don't go around and hang around people I don't like. I don't respect.
No, you're a volume shooter. You're not a defensive player. You're a volume shooter.
You're just throwing things at the conversation and hoping that something works. You've already made it clear that you don't care if what you say is even logical or true. So he's right. You just really care about making sure you get a lot of talking points off. You don't really care if what you're saying is true. And I'm here to say this is how the majority of the women are handling these dating and relationship conversations.
What'd you say?
Hold on, Sheree. You can't hurt my feeling, man. You think I'll let somebody beat you in front of me? That's crazy, bro.
You are the face of domestic discipline. If a man that would hit the woman that he is married to, I would not think that he cared about me being harmed.
I
stand on these things. I would have never put myself in those situations.
I
don't expect protection from all black men. I expect protection from the black men who love and protect me.
How you're framing everything, you're making it seem like black men are just unsafe inherently, and if you give us power, we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna go find all the good men who are marriageable, and we're gonna go, like, I don't know, burn them at the stake or something, or whatever you said. Lady, you wildin'. And I'm sorry, did Tyrone do you that bad? Jerome, what was his name? Turquoise? It's always something like that. Quaylon, something Juan. You know, he did you bad. You mad about him. You miss him still. And you're taking it out on us. Like,
But the majority of violence that happens to black people is by other black people. I don't live in a facade of this community. It's all love. I have no proof of concept that black love exists in that way.
That's all racist, stupid. That's how silly she said. That's all racist. All white people die at the hand of most of white people. Asian on Asian. Latino on Latino. That's just the thing. That's universal. That's universal. And this is one thing. So when Sherelle make those statements, oh, black on black, it's white on white. We cannot sit here and try to win every argument. That's the problem, right? Sherelle's trying to win every argument. But her argument don't make no sense. Oh, well, black people love to kill black people. White people love to kill white people. That's universal across the stage. It's just the way life is. Most people's going to die at the hand of their race of their own people, universally. Iran, Afghanistan going to die more Afghanistans, and Iran's going to kill each other than America killed them. More Russians going to kill Russians than America kill Russia, or Ukrainians kill Russia. Because that's just the way it goes. It ain't just like, oh, well, if you get with a black man, he's guaranteed going to kill you. No, but I'm just saying that that's a thing. When you say a statement, black on black crime or black on black violence, you can equate that across the board. That is, every race is the same, right? Whites kill whites, right? White boy killed Charlie Kirk. White man tried to kill Trump, assassinate Trump. And we can go on, Columbine shootings, right? Most of these school shootings are white. And we can keep going, but you can't sit here and just make that statement and say, all black men, that's how they feel. We don't, listen, most men don't want to hurt their woman, especially the one they love. They don't want to put hands on them. They don't want to even yell at them if they don't have to. Right? Most men want to love on a woman. All men want to love on a woman, especially if they marry her. So I don't know, I don't know why Sherelle is trying to force all this negative energy on men and women dynamic, particularly the black man and black women dynamic. When men and women, black men and black women, black men love black women more than black women love black men. But the real question is, why do black women reject black male leadership? Because they want to be the lead. See what happened when the government started giving aid and support to the black woman? She felt no longer that she needed her black man. So therefore, she wanted to take his place and still want to take his place. Black women want to take black men's place as the leaders, and they want to be seen as the head of the black community. That's just what that is.
Crazy.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yeah, because you make sure that you exalt the men in your family and your life that will love you and do whatever they need to do for you and treated you like a princess. So those are very tangible, and there's more than sounds like 4 or 5 of them. And I think the key point is they aren't special. So why is their disposition less likely for most other black men? Like Arnold, how he just named for the women he loves.
Okay, so this is the way I see it.
And I'm not saying they're not special, like they're
No,
not cool.
I'm not taking it that way.
Yeah, I'm saying
telling
they're
you
not
that,
special in their disposition because you saw Travis Rudolph, remember?
yeah.
The brothers crashed out for their sister, including the friend, and the friend died.
Yeah. So what I'm telling you is, I think black men love the women that they're attached to. That is more normal than not, right? Black men who love me, I would hate to be their enemy. The black men who love me, I would hate to be an enemy. Because we say this, whatever we do it. No, it's not. What black men do to the people that are their enemies is a total different ball game when it comes to the people that they love.
Are you talking about like enemies or like strangers? Because the people who you love are the only person who technically are owed your protection and your provision. Strangers aren't owed your protection and provision. Yes, we should all be looking out for one another. Yes, we should protect one another, so on and so forth. But technically, you're only responsible for the people who you bring into this world.
Now, are they contending with men or are they contending with women?
Men, women.
So you're saying the men that love you contend with women like men?
Some of them, yes, they do.
Most of them,
that's what I'm saying, that I've seen it, right? Because I know we don't never want to make it seem like it's never our family, but some of our brothers are abusive to women. Some of our cousins are abusive to women. The men that we are connected to exhibit these bad behaviors.
And that's what, once again, I can't stand when they do that. Oh, abuse. The word abuse. Do you know? The word abuse, the word definition of word of abuse have been lost in translation. They'll take a domestic violence situation between two people and says abuse. No woman gets abused by their husbands, especially in America. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. But they'll take a domestic violence situation and say, oh, he's an abuser. Or what? Let's break this down. Let's break this word abuse down, right? Because it is used, the word abuse is used to take away a man's ability to lead correctly, right? So when they say he's an abuser, they're not saying that, oh, he beats my ass every time and he threatens my life and all the, no. What they're saying is he's the type of nigga that'll check. No dude to put check. Any dude that tries to put me in check is an abuser. Because a man putting his woman in check, shut up, quit talking back to me. No, you're not going out with your friends. Which is what? They'll call you what? An abuser. Because now they're saying you're abusing your masculinity. Women don't want to rule over them in no facet, but they want to rule over you. So abuse is a word they use as, it's like a victim, it's like a life raft, right? So when they want to win an argument or when they want to try to make men look bad, they say, oh, now look, my family members, they abuse those men. No. What happened in her family is one of her uncles checked his girlfriend and maybe slapped the shit out of him, because she was over talking him, or maybe she was getting in his face. Instead of saying, oh yeah, she should have been in his face and he popped her. Oh no, he's an abuser. And maybe she did it more than once. And when a woman get in your face more than one time, some dudes in her family probably checked the girl, don't get in my face, and pushed her to the couch or something. And women would say, oh, that's abuse. No, what the man was doing, removing you from out his presence. You're in his face, pointing your finger in his face, calling bitch ass, hoe ass niggas, and all them things. So he had to do something. He couldn't keep letting you push forward. Abuse is long standing, man. That's like years of somebody just drilling on you for no reason, right? Oh, hey, baby, and bitch start beating on you. That's abuse. Not domestic violence. Domestic violence is an act of violence committed during a domestic dispute. But women like to use that word abuse because they don't want the man to lead. They don't want the man to run the house, because if he runs the house, it would put them in a weaker position. They don't want. So they're saying he's an abuser. He tells me what to do. He doesn't let me wear my lashes. He doesn't let me get the BBL. He yells at me when I want to go out with my friends. I called him a bitch the other day, and he put me in my place, and I didn't like that. He's an abuser. I feel abused. Because the things that women are fighting back against men's leadership, because they want to have their freedom of going out on freakness and going to out with their girls' night out, having a soft girl era. They want to do the things like 304, hang out with other 304s, and the men are against that. Their boyfriend are against that. They don't want him to tell her, hey, you don't go out with your friends because they're 304s. Women don't want to hear that. So the moment men take that leadership position to put her in check about what she needs to do to keep this house in order, she feels he's toxic masculinity. He's abusive. And that's the word they use when they want help to come in and check you so they can, oh, shit, now you won't talk to me like that no more. Because bottom line, the war here, the gender war thing here is this. The women want to get in relationships that they can control or run and live their life the way they see fit. And they don't want the man to have any accredited that, oh yeah, he made me different, or he kept me in check, he kept me inside the house, he didn't let me go out. No, they don't want the men to have that type of power, right? Make him think like he's the man of the house or something. No, they don't want that. They want all the credit. I didn't go cheat because I didn't want to go cheat. But if I wanted to go cheat, nothing you can do about it. So men are being emasculated in their own homes. Period. They're being emasculated, meaning a lot of men are the bitches in their relationships and marriages. Period. And because women, that's the way women want it. They want men to be their bitches. So I'm in the stream. Thank you for coming. I'll do another one in probably like 15 minutes. Hit the like button on the way out the door. I'm out.